Greetings everybody, this is Sabin Dimitrov, aka Adins for the Astro Wolf, and it is a pleasure to have you guys here on my next video. So this is actually kind of fun, check this out. So I wanted to show you guys, I've been working on my Vega a little bit to make him stronger, and my name is BG Vengeance, which is Bulgarian Vengeance on Ark of War, and this is going to be fun. I wanted to show you guys kind of a fun little view on like how absolutely overpowered Vega is, and I'm quite proud of him. There's a couple battles where it's close, but we still win. So Vega won out of all 12 battles, all of them. So we're gonna and here we go. So I unlocked all my abilities in that one. And so, you know, they hit me a couple times on this one, which is kind of unfortunate, but, you know, we can still tank the hit. I really do not like Stella because of that, but my Vega still has enough soldiers to tank those hits. But overall, this would definitely not be worth you know, losing this many soldiers to this battle. If it was a actual fight against an enemy. But as you guys can see, my shockwave came through and cleared out the enemy and protected me from getting hit. And there we go. So that was the first one, and that was against Paradox X. From 1399. And this is kind of what his soldiers' layouts are. And as you guys see for me, this is what my soldier layouts are. They aren't exactly very picturesque, but they do a good job, and I'm proud of them. Now, next battle is going to be against this guy, Woe, and we're going to be giving him a Woe performance. So as you guys can see, my shockwave came through and killed their soldiers. My shockwave is better than yours. Heh, eat that. But yeah, so it's kind of fun, and as you guys can see, my Vega does a pretty darn good job. So next time someone tries to look at that. We absorb that shot. That's pretty good, being able to absorb that heavy shot from the enemy. And then next battle here is going to be from Daishi. I think it's Daishi. Or yeah, I think it's Daishi. And we're gonna be this is what his soldiers are like. So he has a pretty decent sized commander on the first one, but smaller commanders on the rest. So we're gonna see how this battle goes. It's kind of fun actually. So I have activated every single ability, and that completely clears out his first commander. So now we're fighting against Hoodoo. And unfortunately, Vega's abilities don't always go well, but whenever we get breakdown, we do a massive amount of damage, especially with that beautiful shockwave. That shockwave comes through beautifully, and even though it's only level 19, it is amazing. Because remember, as you guys can see on my Vega, all of his equipment is toward attack. And I actually just got myself a new Titan. There was a special event that I could use, my Shadow Matter, and I have used an excess of, oh my gosh, maybe 28,000 Shadow Matter on this Oracle. And I got myself almost like 13,000 magazines, an insane amount of stuff, and so yeah, that really helped me out a lot, be able to save up my my stuff for that event. And yeah, there's two different kinds of Oracle events. One of them is the cosmic crystals, and then the other one is the Shadow Matter. So I always like to stockpile both of them, so whenever a really good event like this comes along, you can really stockpile his stuff. And I want to show you guys something really cool. So yesterday I made 2 Titans. But here's the really funny part. I have enough, so I can make an absolute crap ton of missile launchers times 2. A missile launcher Mark II. And a missile launcher Mark 1, I can also make a ton of these. And that feeds into my Thunders, which then can be made into Titans. So I estimate I can make at least 3 more Titans immediately. And I know this seems like a lot, but when you are at a higher level, you can get this almost every day or every 2 days. So really doesn't, hurt too much to actually do that. So I'm very happy that, we can actually get some better stuff. And as you guys can see, for my equipment, my new Titan I got, this one's 57.5. And usually you want your Titan to be... you want your Titan to be 60%, but 57 is not bad. So yeah, just keep crafting your equipment and you can get better and better stuff. And as you guys can see, my Vega is doing quite well, and I'm very proud of him. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys that last attack against this fella right here, Asgardian. Well, Asgardian is going to be blown away. He has very small commanders, but I think this guy has SWE maybe? I'm not entirely quite sure why, but he has small commanders. I don't know how or why he won with these small commanders, but as you guys can see, my shockwave is cutting through him really easily. The Wings of Eternity is really not doing that much damage to me. Yeah, that's really not doing much. But that's still quite effective, but as you guys can see, my shockwave will, well, he actually tanked that, so that's actually pretty good. Shabam. Absorbed. And then, up, there we go. There we go. That's why I won. The Terror Space is what does the damage for my commanders. And I can actually see why he actually won against enemies, because if he has is able to take a heavy hit, then he can, keep slowly whittling you down. But unfortunately, unfortunately for him, my airships are tanking those hits, and my shockwave is doing its job. So I can actually see why he won. So this guy has 200% strength and weaken effect. But it's this commander that we need to take a look at. So he has 300 and 118 strength and weaken effect. But, so a lot of his skill, a lot of the percentages are kind of evenly distributed out to a lot more of these. But, you guys can see he has Andromeda's Radiance, which is the penetration, and then which is the, we got this skill, damage rate is increased by 100%, and, seeing the dodge rate, he has a Hercules protection. He is actually trying to get that set up, and I can see why. That's really cool. The Hercules protection is really nice because that gives us resistance, so that way if enemies put a spell on us, it's 15% automatically less effective. Then we have the soldiers with all that. Then we have the Virgo Radiance, which is a strength and weaken effect, which is 30%. And then, so he's actually trying to make a SWE build. So I'm actually, that's actually a really good commander that he has going for him. And then we have this one, the trigger for the next action, and attack damage is increased by 100%. We have the power of Sagittarius. So he's actually trying to build a solid commander with his Huberin, or we call him hubs. But yeah, so that's actually a really solid commander in the making. So I wish him the best of luck. I think Asgardian is going to do a very good job on that commander. And yeah, like if he gets those next two gem sets set up, he's going to be set. But unfortunately for him, my Vega is awakened, and my resistance weakened effect is 600%. So that probably was one of the reasons why he didn't do as well against me. Because resistance weakened effect is able to counter strengthened weakened effect. So that's really, really good for us. So my Vega did quite well. And then my Rogers was able to be secondary backup in case anything happened. But as you guys can see, he never had to do a single thing. And right now, my commander is dodge 600%. And since he is running the Cyan shuttle, depending on how much dodge you have, that means they have more effectiveness in their self-healing ability. But yeah, so unfortunately, my Rogers is nowhere near as good as he was back then, but he can still take a heavy hit, which I'm quite surprised with this menial equipment, as you guys can see right here. And right here we have the Orochi, my beautiful, beautiful Orochi. And as you guys can see, his equipment is going to be really, really nice. So he's not permanently all the way awakened yet, but I'm trying to get him slowly up to 600%. But unfortunately, they use a Gaussian alloy, which is much more difficult to come across. So I'm trying to wait out the events before I have to just waste, awakening release commander things. But so this is currently my best possible equipment. Now, the reason why there's a Walker stats here, it doesn't seem like it makes much sense, but I'll show you guys in a moment. So as you guys can see, my airship health points and my total health points, those all kind of go up to about 680%. So that's not bad. I'm quite happy about that. And then the airship attack is meh. It's really not that good, but then we have the total attack, which is 382%. So that's pretty good. My total defense is 600%, and that is pretty darn delicious. And that will help us be able to defend ourselves against a mean commander. And this is what I've been working on to make a really strong build for my Orochi. Because Orochi needs trigger rate for the skills trigger, so that's why. So yeah, so I'm gonna be running a couple things on that, but as you guys can see, my total skills trigger rate is 15%. Hold on a second, that seems kind of weird. Give me a second, guys. Okay, yeah, sorry about that, guys. My brain kind of farted out there for a second. So let's go back to where we are. Peak Contest and Orochi. So, as you guys can see, I have decent dodge, it's 150%, but it's not really pertinent right now. Resistance weaken effect is 153%, so that's RWE. That helps us be able to defend ourselves against SWE. Our critical wither is 153%, so that makes it so that way enemies' critical attacks are much less effective against us. And just so you guys know, the reason why there's these small plus 0% is if your equipment gets to level 45 or 50, I think it's level 50 now, you then start getting extra buff enhancements to your equipment. So I'm slowly getting my equipment up to level 50, but it is a very slow grind. And it makes things a bit more difficult, but we are getting there, guys. We are. So just be patient. We will be there soon enough, and we can start really messing with the really big players of the game. And as you guys can see, my total damage reduction is 50.6%. But because of my next abilities with the gems, it's actually 60.6%. and that is pretty darn nice. So we have this, so my total skills trigger rate is 15%. So that will allow me to be able to have a better chance at my skills being activated. And then on top of that, with my Armageddon hull, or the other hull, that's another 10%. So then that immediately goes to 25% skills trigger rate advancement. So that will make it so that way my Orochi does a lot better on his attacks. Now, as you guys can see, I have Cephas Majesty added to my Orochi. So 3 out of the 5 set will be total critical weather, so that's another 30% of the enemy not being able to hurt me as much. And then the 5 sets is receive skill Cephas Majesty from the suit. 20% chance to trigger before next action. Target's defense of this attack will decrease by 100% until activator's next action. They will not be able to recover health points. So that will make us much harder to deal with when fighting that stupid Reinhardt. And my Reinhardt, we were testing out Reinhardt builds against my Orochi last night, and I absolutely demolished like 98% of the Reinhardts that fought against me. So that means my Orochi is doing very, very well, and I'm very proud of him. And so we have Cassiopeia Power, and this is a walker set, but you guys will see that 3 out of the 5 sets will give you total damage reduction, and that is why you have to sacrifice some walker sets, some gem sets to the walker, because this will give you an extra 10% damage reduction. And let me tell you, every little bit of damage reduction is a massive boost toward your survivability as a defense commander. And then we have Hercules Protection, which I showed you guys before. So here we are. We have the total resistance to enemies' abilities against us, or it's lessened by 15%. And then the 5 sets will receive skill Hercules Protection from the suit. All soldiers have a 20% chance to trigger before next action. Until next action, allied soldiers in the first row gains freeze armor. Defense increasing by 60%. Attacking units with freeze armor will cause the attacker's attack to decrease by 60%. So that'll make it so that way Reinhardts will also have a harder time being able to hurt us, since they have hyperspace armor. So that means our survivability is absolutely ridiculous right now. And yeah, from this event, I'll show you guys some of the cool stuff we got. We got about 100 or so strength certificates, so that way we can be closer than ever to be able to fight more in the peak contest. And then we got a decent chunk of honor medals. Let's see. Oh, we can get a few more of these bad boys. There we go. We have a total of 4 of those bad boys. Sure, let's quickly do that. So we can just go over to here for the Galactic Oracle. Just do that 2 times. We got a bajonkers amount of feature chips, and these are essential when you want to upgrade the skills of your artificial intelligence. And here, this is nice for our mop-up coupons. You know how I showed you guys how we can do that event where we can mop up and be able to use mop-up coupons. Starting this event, I had 0. And now, after using the Galactic Oracle and gaining a couple million, like at least 4 million, 3.5 million melange or spices, we are now at 54,602 mop-up coupons. And that is really freaking cool. That will make it so that way we will have a lot of stuff for the next Christmas tree event. And as you guys can see on this bad boy right here on the Ether Shop, it only has 4.5 more days left until we can get ourselves more Dragon Slayer medals, and that will allow Vega to be able to substantially increase his attacks. Oh, okay. But yeah. So I wanted to go to my reports. This person was just spamming me because he's a smart butt. But you know, he and I are buddies. But let's show you guys kind of a really nice one. Where's a good one? Because there's a couple of these where I lost nothing. This is actually going to be funny. And they were using max tier soldiers against me. Here we are. So watch this. We are fighting against a black, which can be both attack and defense. But I'm going to show you guys how my Orochi did. I'm quite proud of him. So as you guys can see, I actually do hit him, which is really nice. And yeah, he lands a couple hits against me. But my survivability with the damage reduction is really what's pulling us through. So the destructive power is quite painful. But because we still have a lot of health points, my abilities with the Terra Space is still able to chew through the Mirage, which is a very high defense airship, tier 12 airship. He's one of the more basic tier 12 airships, but then these red ships on the back are the really nice ones. So he's doing basic and then advanced, and I'm doing advanced and basic. And the reason why I have my airships on the front, even though they're quote less health points, their self-heal ability allows us to be able to survive against hits because they self-heal. Now, if I remember right, I think he ran Cephas Majesty against me, so that means I can't, you know, heal well. But as you guys can see, my, what do you call it? I'm trying to think. Is he running Cephas Majesty against me? I don't remember. But anyway, as you guys can see, my Mender bots are really coming through and allowing me to defend myself. And because I am running Cephas Majesty, and that means my attack and stuff is growing every time we circulate through this. So even though he's getting more hits on me, we are actually able to take some heavy hits because of that. So it's actually quite nice being able to actually chew through the enemy. And you know, he has good equipment. But because of our skill sets as well as our survivability and being able to have the Mender bot, that means all our rolls right here, as you guys saw what just happened a few seconds ago, are up to max power again. So our Mender bot is really effective, and I'm very proud of that. And as you guys can see, we are now being able to defend, which makes me very happy. And regenerate health. And now we are cutting through the enemy with our Terra Space. So even though they don't take too much damage, we are still able to heal up our soldiers and do a lot of damage to them. And these are different battles that we have done. And as you guys can see, we are doing a very good job, and that is one of the reasons why I'm so proud of Orochi. I'm sad that I had to give up Rogers, but sadly it was an essential thing to do because, you know, we just had to. But yeah, so I'm very, very happy that my commanders and stuff are getting upgraded and doing better. And yeah, so I'm trying to get a second set in place for Rogers, and you know, the damage reduction is quite nice, and that's why I'm going to be running on him. So I'm going to try to get myself another Antares and another Beetlejuice, so that way we can have a secondary defensive Rogers, and be able to have one heavy attack commander, one heavy defense commander, and one secondary defense commander, because unfortunately Rogers doesn't have a guaranteed hit. Well, no, he does have a guaranteed hit ability, but that's after the chaos. So, yeah, his defensive stance is still pretty darn nice, and this one does, so, yeah, so we are actually getting set up, and the damage reduction is going to be quite nice, and, that's one of the reasons why I want to get Antares and, Beetlejuice again for my dear Rogers, so that way he can, you know, be able to really mess up the enemy. So I'm quite proud of my Orochi and how well he is doing. And yeah, so my Vega is going to get a better and more advanced Titan very shortly. And I'm going to be able to replace my more crappy one. And then my Orochi is coming along very, very well, and we just have to upgrade his gear some more and get some more gem sets on him. My Rogers is doing his stuff and, you know, slowly getting back into shape. And he does still do a really good job. But yeah, I have 14,000 magazines now ready to use on Orochi, so I'm very excited for that. My Dragon Slayer is doing great. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, McDonald's is having a Yum Yum, so I'm excited for that. So, my Dragon Slayer is doing quite well with her stuff, and you know, she is running a heavy penetration build, so I'm very, very happy with that. And then my sister Wolf still has a ways to go before she can actually be a completely viable commander. But Sister Wolves, if you have the right equipment and soldiers, can completely decimate enemy reinhardents. And that is what I want to do, is use a small amount of soldiers and absolutely obliterate reinhardents, because I hate reinhardents with an unholy passion. So now I'm going to have two solid counters against them, which is my Orochi and my Dragon Slayer. So yeah, we are getting that stuff set up. And my Orochi is at 49,507 leadership, and he has a level 20 counter striker. So that is like a secondary corrosive armor, which will make it so whenever enemies hit me, they will suffer a lot of damage against that one column that hits us. And if they do Awakening Airship and do a lot of damage to us, that means our counter striker will do 6 times the damage, 6 times that amount of damage. We are currently at 4% of the received damage to the enemy. Max damage cannot exceed 1000% of the initiator's attack. So, if the if the enemy hits us for 100,000, like 100 million damage, 4 million of that will be negated because of that. No, 4 million of that will be put toward the enemy slot that hits us. So, you know, so 6 to... That means 24% of their attack is reciprocated back onto that slot. So, that is really, really good. And that means my Orochi is going to be able to take some... It is actually going to be able to hurt the enemy on 2 fronts with our corrosive armor and the counter striker, and that makes it so that way the enemy does less damage to us. So I'm very, very happy about that, and that way we can run lower tier runs and still be able to hurt the enemy if we survive with our counter striker. And Counter Striker is pretty darn nice, but I still do have AI 1 because that does give our front row soldiers a big health point shield. But because I had to get rid of my crappy gift of the Valkyrie. Um, we don't have the best stuff for that, unfortunately, but that's okay. You know, we are getting ourselves set up. Where uh trying to find that little button. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Where did you go? Oh, here we are. Here we are. There we go. Yep, this is a 30-minute video, but I wanted to give you guys some cool insight and input on my commanders and what's going to be happening in the future. But yeah, so I am very, very happy with how well my commanders are doing. And next event that comes up that, you know, needs to use magazines, we are going to be set. This Galactic Oracle has been an absolute godsend and has given me a stupid amount of magazines, and this will help my Orochi be much more effective. So yeah, we are going to be set. You know, Orochi has all 4 skills completely maxed. He has maxed out equipment, and now we just need to get the robots to increase it. And we have a fairly decent counter striker. So my Orochi is doing very, very well. And you know, he was actually my favorite baseball player for a long time too, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, so Orochi and Vega are my 2 VIP MVP commanders. And don't you worry, Rogers, we're still gonna use you, and don't you worry, Dragon Slayer, we're still gonna use you. Primary attack, primary defense, secondary attack, secondary defense, and then we have Sister Wolf, who just kind of is there to piss off people. And, you know, I like Sister Wolf. She has little fluffy ears. But yeah, so my commanders are going to be doing quite well, and I'm very, very happy about it. So, yeah. This has been Sabin Dimitrov, aka Densfo the Astrowolf, and it has been an absolute pleasure having you guys here. To watch my video. I hope this has been an informative video, and maybe this will help you guys be able to learn how to make new and better commander sets, and maybe we can you know, maybe I can see you guys action. But yeah, do feel free to come over to my server 1265, because yeah, we need more people to fight against DGS, and we lost a good amount of good players recently, so we need more players to fill in at our place. And do remember, guys, if you do join our guild, remember to always stay on top of the announcement board, because we have some rules, which is a 25-point minimum in GGM, which is that weekend event. And the weekend event is this bad boy right here. The Galactic General Mobilization. Now, because we are showing respect to one of our friends who suffered a heart attack, we are not required to be 25,000, but I'm almost there, so I might just put us there anyway. But yeah, so you always want to try to be there as best as possible, because 0 points will not be tolerated and you will be booted. And always make sure you let people know if you're going to be off 2 days or more without notice. 3 days offline without notice is a warning, and then 5 days you will be automatically kicked, because that is space that could be used for an active player. So yeah, just, you know, like it is. And on the donation day events, where you can donate about 1 million for that day, resources for each resource, and then 500k for this bad boy here. No, I think that's 1 million as well. But yeah, so you always want to try to get that to as close to max of all these as possible. But sometimes there are mistakes. It's not the end of the world, but you know, we want to try to keep our guild at top rank if possible. But yeah, so please feel free to come over to server 1265, and you know, if you guys heard about my server from my channel, say that you are a fan or a watcher of BG Vengeance, or my YouTube channel, and hopefully we can get you guys in the guild and set up. Now, do remember, you guys will need to ask Thrasher or TX Hawaiian or HMS Surprise. These are the 3 people that you want to go to. But do feel free to message me as well, BG Vengeance, and I would be happy to to assist. I am near the center of the map, as you guys can see. So if you guys ever want to come and say hi, you can, and we would look forward to having you guys over. We need more people to fight, and as you guys can see, the status of our world is currently open, and our power restriction is 635 million, so that's really good. So that means anyone under 635 million can pop in, so that's really good. So please feel free to hop onto our world and help us fight against DGS and reclaim our server. And, you know, hopefully we can get ourselves set up. And just so you guys know, if you want to be part of the guild, do not attack TWP, do not attack GRM, do not attack DX7, and no arc hits on STL, and the kill event, which is Saturday and Sunday, only hit their tiles. But for enemies, DGS and UWA and YUP. Those are 3 enemy guilds that we want to absolutely destroy and mess with every single time. Remember, DGS is full of really smart players, so be careful and fight small. But yeah, anyway guys, this has been Sabin Dimitrov, aka Agents for the Astwolf. It has been an absolute pleasure having you guys here on this video. And yeah, I'm gonna go get some rest before my shift. You guys stay awesome. And always remember, God bless.